The building you see behind me you don't see every day. It's called a shot tower. This one belongs to Remington Ammunition in Lonoke, Arkansas. When you buy a Remington shot shell, especially an STS or a Nitro, it comes from right here. And it's a process where they drop literally molten lead down stories. That's just a part of making Remington shot shells. They make their own heads, they make their own hulls, and they do it all right here behind me.
And one of Remington's great strengths is shot shells. The STS product, the Nitro product, really renowned for their excellent reloadability and their performance in big competitions.
The STS and the Nitro 27, in our mind, is the best hull made. It's a unibody hull, highly reloadable, it's a brass head. Shooters have come to really enjoy the performance of Nitros and STS, so we have to expand that line. When you have something that is what we consider the best in the industry, how do you make it better? How do you expand it? How do you make more of them?
So as an engineer in research and development, I'm responsible for bringing new products from concept all the way through testing and into mass production. And so we're going to take white paper designs, prototypes, test it, experiment, find out what this new product can do. And then from there, how do you make it? We've got to scale it up. We've got to potentially design new tooling, new equipment. A lot of times it's already existing equipment and tooling that we can just add, use, and be able to make the new product, whatever it may be. And then also to support manufacturing, after the product is designed so that they don't have problems in the future trying to make it, whatever it may be. And it may be as simple as a new shotgun shell that is a different velocity. And you support the ballistics department, making sure that every lot of powder that comes in for the first 3 or 4 lots are able to achieve the velocity and the pressure specifications that it did when the first batches were tested.
When we make a shot shell, the cup or the cap of the shell will come in a raw material similar to what you'd see in a pistol or a rifle shell casing. We're going to bring that in brass strip or a nylon strip, whatever specific cap that we're making. We're going to stamp that out of the material. We'll put our head stamp on there, get it ready to go. We'll start the initial punch to put a primer in there. So after we've made that, we're going to make the shell body.
The plastic beads come in to make the bodies, and we're going to put those through an extrusion process where you're going to heat them up. You got to get them to melting temperatures. You're going to extrude them out over a good distance because they've got to cool back down. We're taking diameters and measurements of that so that it meets all the specifications, so that when you go to form your body, that it comes out and meets all the dimensions that it needs to. So from there, those slugs are going to be taken to either rotary cam, where it's going to be your unibody shell that we use in gun club, that we use in STS, and it doesn't have a base wad, it's all integral part of it. Or you're going to go to what we call the orient process, where you're going to run that slug over a mandrel and extrude out a piece of plastic that is going to be cut into multiple bodies.
Once we've made those, we've got the caps and the bodies ready. We got to put them together. So those go through a process called AH&P, which is assemble, head, and prime. And at that point, a primer is going to be put in the shell.
When you start dealing with the metallics of a shot shell primer, you have a charge cup, a battery cup, and then an anvil as well. So the difference between a shot shell round and a centerfire round, the shot shell round, the primer dictates the hole for the flash hole for the primer, where the centerfire round is built into the shell. So you still push the cup of mix over the top of that anvil that's inside that battery cup. Firing pin hits, pushes the mix down, breaks the crystal, starts the fire, lights the gunpowder. That's kind of that as a whole.
So here in Lonoke, where all the Remington ammunition is made, if you've ever seen the plant and driven by on I-40, you see the iconic shot tower. So that shot tower is simple in design, but brilliant at the same time.
The advantage to the shot tower is round shot. And as you drop the shot from the stories and it turns around through your surface tension, it's a higher quality. And you're going to get better patterns, better performance. And that's what our consumers know us for in our premium target loads, is good, hard, round shot that gives you uniform patterns.
Depending on the size of the shot that we're needing at that specific time, a plate with multiple holes on it is situated over a cylinder that goes the full 11 stories. We convey billets of lead up to the 11 floors where we're going to melt it. So that molten lead is poured over that screen with the holes in it, the specific size that we're after. Those molten lead pellets are then going to fall the 11 stories, and as they're falling, they're cooling, and as they're cooling, they're hardening. To finish the process, it falls in a bath of water for that quick quench, and that's where the term the chilled shot comes from. After that process, we're going to bring it back up a few floors. We're going to roll it across glass tables. So those tables have gaps in them. So as the shot rolls, if there is an imperfection or two that may be stuck together, it won't jump the gap. So we can screen those out. Why is that important? A non-round pellet doesn't work ballistically as well as an oval or whatnot. So we're looking for the true round pellet. That may not matter to you if you're squirrel hunting or rabbit hunting, but for target shooters, sporting clays, trap, skeet, that group of guys, they want every advantage that they can get. So we want to be able to provide that in a premium product. So after we make the shot, it's going straight from that shot tower to those loaders.
So before any one loader in the shot shell area comes up, we have to pre-qualify that load as a recipe. So the technicians will run a sample, bring it to ballistics, and we'll shoot it, and then give that feedback immediately to the floor as to whether or not they need to adjust their shot weight or their powder weight, or anything from trim length to crimp depth can also affect those end results. So once a loader comes up and is running and it's manufacturing a given order of ammunition, at the beginning of the shift and at the middle of that shift, every 4 hours, our gunners will go out to the loaders and pull a sample back into ballistics and fire it. And the things we'll test for are obviously velocity, which is what the customer is expecting. Pressure is what we are responsible to test for the customer. And then function and casualty, we'll fire them from real production firearms and make sure they cycle auto loaders and can pump in and out of different models of shotguns. And that's everything from 410 all the way through industrial 8 gauge.
So Remington's heritage as a brand has been in shot shells. And if you're talking STS, Nitro 27, there's a long history of excellence at Remington around competition shot shells. And even if you look further back, brands like Peters that shooters just used to love. So we're bringing Peters back, and it's a paper hold shot shell. They're gonna be great for the range and kind of have that nostalgic look and feel and that paper smell that I know we all love.
The beautiful part about acquiring the Remington Ammunition product line and the brand itself, which we're able to license, is that it's really, all we have to do is invest a little bit of time and money into it and get it back where it was supposed to be.
Our job in the Target shot shell line is how do we get STS and Nitros out there faster and more quantities than ever had, and we will never sacrifice that quality. There's a lot of points out there on the blog, and is Federal going to change the STS and Nitro 27? The answer is yes, we are going to change it. We're going to make more of them. That's it.